And straight to our main story this hour. 3 people have died in a blast that ripped through an apartment block in the north of Moscow. And we know that a 14-year-old boy has been injured, and he's reported to be in a satisfactory condition and is undergoing medical help. 16 people in all have been rescued from the fire. Dozens have been evacuated from the building. They are in a nearby school now. The blast reportedly took place around the 10th floor of a 22-story building and sparked a fire which then spread to the 11th and 12th floors, causing collapse of ceilings and walls. Around 25 fire brigades and 10 ambulances are at the scene, where the fire has now been localized. Leading explosive experts from law enforcement agencies said the explosion was caused by a gas and air blast. It has been reported that gas containers may have exploded in one of the apartments that was undergoing redecoration. And later we'll be joined by our correspondent Ryan Dollard, who is working at the scene for us, and we're waiting for him to appear shortly. And a resident of the northeastern district of Moscow, Dima Kovalenko, a boy who was near the scene of the blast, has told Rush Today what has happened at the scene.
We're here with my friend and see how the wall is collapsing. It was on fire. It fell on Peugeot car, but nothing happened to the car. A minute later, a huge fire started. Then another block collapsed. There's fire everywhere. The flames were going up and down. Debris was falling everywhere. The firefighters came quickly and started going up the ladder. 3 of them went in to extinguish the fire. The blast was huge. There are 9 fire trucks that I could see. I heard a woman scream on the lower level. The firefighters are doing their best to combat the flames. The smoke is covering the entire neighborhood.
And once again, 3 people have died in a blast that ripped through an apartment block in the northeast of Moscow. And we know that a 14-year-old boy has been injured, but he's been recovered and he's reported to be in a satisfactory condition and is undergoing medical help. 16 people in all have been rescued from the fire. Dozens have been evacuated from the building, and they are now in a nearby school. And all the necessary supplies and food are being delivered there. The blast reportedly took place around the 10th floor of a 22-story building and sparked a fire which then spread to the 11th and the 12th floors, causing collapse of ceilings and walls. Around 25 fire brigades and 10 ambulances are at the scene, where the fire has now been localized. And at least well, I'm getting some information that we have Ryan Dollard online. Ryan, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly well.
Good. Okay, what's the latest? What can you tell us?
Well, the fire is now under control. I don't know if you can see, but the guts of the building have literally been ripped out. Everything smoke damaged. A huge hole stretching for 2 floors has appeared in the middle, and sadly there are 2 confirmed deaths at this stage, a woman and a small child. Now, there were some speculations earlier on that this might have been a terrorist act. We can confirm now that's not the case. Police believe it has been a gas explosion. The building isn't actually connected to mains gas, which believe this has been a tragic domestic accident. Gas canisters in somebody's home have exploded, and that seems to be why the accident has occurred. Now, it's actually been a remarkably small number of confirmed deaths, considering that this fire began on the 10th floor and raged up to the 11th and 12th, knocking down walls and causing some floors and ceilings to collapse. A very efficient rescue operation was mounted. Many people evacuated and taken to a local school that is acting as an emergency medical centre, providing people with treatment for minor complaints such as smoke inhalation. Now, we can say police have cordoned off the area. There are still a large number of very concerned members of the public. The names of the people who have died have not been given out at this stage, so a lot of people who have perhaps just returned from work to see their apartment, to all intents and purposes gone, are asking the very pertinent question, where is my family? A lot of people speaking on mobile phones. We saw people bursting out into tears with relief when they managed to reach their loved ones. But police and the emergency services seem to have the situation under control at this stage.
Yeah, Ryan, and actually earlier the emergency services cut power supplies to the buildings to give rescuers access to the hot spot, and now I can see behind you that the buildings are not completely in complete darkness. Is this the latest development there?
Lights are now in operation. They're mainly to help the emergency services. We can't say for certain whether that is a return of mains power or whether the emergency services have brought in their own lights to assist them. They are still searching, combing those 10th, 11th and 12th floors because, as I've said, walls, ceilings and floors have all collapsed. There is the possibility some people remain trapped. It seems a small one now, but rescuers making very sure not to miss anybody and working very methodically to go through the whole building.
All right, Ryan, thank you very much indeed for that update, and we'll talk to you later. So, and what we have, this is the latest information, that 3 people have died in a blast that ripped through an apartment block in the northeast of Moscow. And we also know that a 14-year-old boy has been injured, and 2 bodies have been recovered as well, and also dozens of people are being evacuated and placed in the nearby school. And we'll bring you more information on this story as we get it here on Russia Today.